The huge glass room stretched up so high that Lisa Carter could not see the ceiling. The walls glowed with strange lights that changed colors like a rainbow. But these lights showed what the alien judges were thinking. Lisa stood in the middle of a circle drawn on the floor. She wore a simple black suit, the kind that Earth diplomats always wore to important meetings. Around her sat 12 different types of aliens. Some looked like giant insects with too many eyes. Others were made of what seemed like colored gas that moved and changed shape. One judge looked like a huge tree with branches that moved like arms. Another was made of crystal that sparkled when it talked. The strangest one was just a ball of light that got brighter or dimmer depending on its mood. Lisa had been standing there for 3 hours while they read the charges against humanity. The alien prosecutor was a Zephyrian, which meant it looked like purple gas in the shape of a person. When it spoke, its voice came through a machine that turned its gas movements into words that Lisa could understand. Humanity has broken the most important law in the galaxy, the prosecutor said. Its purple gas form moved faster when it got angry. They have spread to 17 star systems in only 50 years. This is impossible unless they are cheating. The prosecutor made pictures appear in the air around Lisa. These pictures showed human cities on worlds that used to be empty rocks. There were farms growing food on planets where nothing should be able to live. Children were playing outside on worlds where the air should kill them instantly. Look at these worlds, the prosecutor continued. Planet Xerion has an atmosphere that burns the lungs of any living thing. But humans built cities there in only 10 years. Planet Glacialis is so cold that even our best technology cannot keep us warm there. But human children play in the snow without any special suits. The tree-like judge moved its branches, which meant it wanted to speak. How do humans terraform so quickly? It took us 300 years to make one small colony on a simple world. Humans do it in less than 20 years on worlds we cannot even visit. More pictures appeared around Lisa. The aliens showed human colonies on underwater worlds, in the middle of toxic swamps, and even on planets with gravity so strong that it should crush human bones. In every picture, humans looked happy and healthy. The crystal judge made a sound like wind chimes. We have studied human biology. Your species should not be able to survive in most of these places. Your homeworld Earth is mild compared to where you now live. Something is wrong. Lisa watched the aliens talk to each other in their strange ways. The insect judges clicked their mouths rapidly. The gas aliens changed colors. The energy beings pulsed with different types of light. She knew they were deciding if humanity was guilty of using forbidden technology or making deals with dangerous forces. The oldest judge was the tree-like Verdanian. It had lived for over 1,000 years and had seen many species come before this court. Its ancient voice sounded like wind through leaves when it spoke. We have heard all the evidence, the old judge said. Humanity claims to follow natural law, but their expansion is unnatural. No species in galactic history has ever adapted so quickly to so many different worlds. This can only mean they are using forbidden genetic modification or making deals with powers that should not be disturbed. Lisa felt her heart beat faster, but she kept her face calm. She had expected this moment. Every human diplomat was trained for the day when their species would have to explain itself to the galaxy. The 12 judges made their decision quickly. The lights on the walls turned red, which meant they had found humanity guilty. The charges were serious: violating the concordat of peaceful development, using forbidden enhancement technologies, and endangering the natural balance of the galaxy. Humanity is guilty, announced the Verdanian judge. The punishment is immediate. All human colonies must stop growing. All human expansion into new systems must end. And humanity must reveal exactly how they adapt so quickly to hostile worlds. A crystal formation grew from the floor. This was the gavel that would make the judgment official. When it sang its crystal song, the decision would be recorded in the galactic database forever. Every species in the galaxy would know that humanity had been found guilty and stopped from expanding further. The crystal began to sing, its voice like a bell ringing across the universe. Lisa knew that in a few seconds her species would be marked as criminals. Human children on dozens of worlds would grow up knowing their parents were considered cheaters and liars by the rest of the galaxy. But as the crystal song reached its highest note, something unexpected happened. Lisa Carter smiled. The smile was not what the aliens expected. Humans who were found guilty usually looked scared or angry. They begged for mercy or screamed about unfair treatment. But Lisa looked happy, like someone who had just heard good news. The crystal stopped singing. The judges stared at Lisa with whatever they used for eyes. The Zephyrian prosecutor's purple gas swirled with confusion. Ambassador Carter, the Verdanian judge said slowly, "Do you understand the judgment against your species?" Lisa's smile grew wider. "Yes, Your Honor. I understand perfectly." "Then why do you smile? Your species has been found guilty of serious crimes. Your expansion across the galaxy must stop immediately." Lisa looked around at all 12 judges. Her smile was not mean or angry. It was the smile of someone who knew a secret that would change everything. "Your Honors," she said, her voice clear and strong, "humanity accepts your judgment completely. We do not argue with your decision. But I would like to request something that is my right under galactic law." The crystal judge chimed with curiosity. "What do you request?" "I request the right of final truth," Lisa said. "I want to tell this court exactly how humanity has expanded so quickly across the galaxy. I want to reveal our complete methods with nothing hidden." The judges whispered among themselves in their various ways. The right of final truth was rarely used because it meant telling everything, even the most secret information that species usually kept hidden. The old Verdanian judge thought for a long moment. "The right of final truth is granted. You may reveal your species' methods completely. But be warned, once you speak, you cannot take back your words." Lisa Carter stood straighter. Her smile never faded. "Thank you, Your Honors. The truth about humanity is something that will surprise you all. You want to know how we terraform worlds so quickly? How we survive in places that should kill us? How human children play safely in toxic atmospheres?" She paused and looked directly at each judge. "The secret is very simple. We do not terraform the worlds to suit us. We terraform ourselves to suit the worlds." The alien judges stared at Lisa Carter with confusion. The Zephyrian prosecutor's purple gas form spun faster, which meant it was upset or confused. The crystal beings made soft chiming sounds. The tree-like Verdanian judge's branches moved slowly, like it was thinking very hard. "What do you mean?" asked the insect judge. Its many eyes blinked in different patterns. "You terraform yourselves? This makes no sense." Lisa touched a button on her suit sleeve. A hologram appeared above her head. It showed a human figure that slowly turned around so all the judges could see it clearly. The figure looked exactly like a normal human from Earth. "Every human you see, including me, carries something special in their body," Lisa explained. "We carry the genetic memories of every harsh place that humans have ever lived on Earth." The energy being judge pulsed with different colors, which meant it was asking questions. Its voice sounded like music when it spoke. "Genetic memories. We do not understand this concept," Lisa nodded. "On Earth, humans lived everywhere. We lived in hot deserts where the sun could kill you. We lived on high mountains where the air is too thin to breathe easily. We lived in frozen places where your skin can freeze in minutes. We lived underwater, in swamps, in jungles, and in places with dangerous radiation." The hologram changed to show different groups of humans. Some had dark skin and looked very strong. Others were pale and had thick bodies that could store heat. Some were tall and thin, while others were short and muscular. Each group of humans developed special abilities to live in their harsh environment, Lisa continued. Desert people learned to need less water and handle extreme heat. Mountain people developed bigger lungs and more red blood cells to get oxygen from thin air. Cold weather people learned to keep their body heat even in freezing temperatures. The crystal judge chimed softly. "This is normal evolution. All species adapt to their environments over many generations." "Yes," Lisa agreed. "But here is what makes humans different. When these different groups of humans started mixing together, they did not lose their special abilities. Instead, they passed all of them down to their children." The hologram showed DNA strands spinning slowly. Different colors highlighted different sections of the genetic code. "Every modern human carries the dormant genes for all of these adaptations," Lisa explained. "Desert survival genes, mountain climbing genes, cold resistance genes, underwater breathing genes, radiation resistance genes, all of them sleep quietly in our DNA until we need them." The Verdanian judge's branches rustled with interest. "You are saying that all humans have the ability to adapt to any environment?" "Not just adapt," Lisa said. "We can consciously activate the genes we need for any specific world. When humans arrive on a new planet, our bodies automatically start changing to match what we need to survive there." The prosecutor's gas form turned bright red with disbelief. "Impossible." Such rapid genetic changes would kill any living being. The stress on your cellular structure would be enormous. Lisa's smile grew bigger. That is exactly what makes us human. Our bodies do not just change quickly. They remember how to change safely. We have been doing this for thousands of years on Earth. She touched another button on her sleeve. The hologram showed human colonists arriving on different worlds. On each world, the humans looked slightly different after just a few months. Watch what happens on planet Xerion, Lisa said, pointing to one of the holographic scenes. The air there contains acids that burn most species' lungs. But after living there for 6 months, human colonists develop a special lining in their breathing system that neutralizes the acid. The scene changed to show another world. On Glacialis, the cold world you mentioned earlier, humans activate their cold resistance genes within weeks. Their blood changes to carry special proteins that prevent freezing. Their skin grows thicker. Their metabolism speeds up to generate more body heat. Another scene showed an underwater world. On Aquatica 7, human colonists develop enhanced lung capacity and better blood oxygen storage. Some even grow small gill-like organs that help them breathe underwater for longer periods. The judges made various sounds of amazement and disbelief, the energy being pulsed through dozens of colors rapidly, which Lisa had learned meant it was very excited or confused. But how do you control these changes? Asked the insect judge. Random genetic activation should produce random results, most of them harmful. Lisa touched her sleeve again, and the hologram zoomed in to show the inside of a human cell. Human genetic memory is not random. Our DNA contains detailed instructions for every adaptation our species has ever developed. When we arrive on a new world, special sensors in our cells detect what kind of environment we are in. The cellular view showed different genes lighting up in sequence. If the air is thin, mountain adaptation genes activate. If the temperature is extreme, temperature resistance genes turn on. If there is dangerous radiation, our radiation repair mechanisms start working harder. The process is guided by millions of years of evolutionary experience. Lisa continued. Our bodies know exactly which changes to make because our ancestors already survived in similar conditions somewhere on Earth. The crystal judge made a sound like breaking glass, which meant it was shocked. You are describing controlled evolution. Evolution that happens in days or weeks instead of thousands of years. Exactly, Lisa confirmed. And this is just the beginning of what humans can do. The Zephyrian prosecutor spun its gas form rapidly. Even if this is possible, it does not explain your rapid terraforming. Adapting to survive is not the same as building thriving civilizations in just a few years. Lisa looked directly at the prosecutor. You are right. Personal adaptation explains how individual humans survive on harsh worlds. But you want to know how we build entire cities and farms so quickly? She paused dramatically. That requires something much more impressive than individual adaptation. That requires something we call collective evolution. The hologram changed to show a human settlement on a toxic world. But this time Lisa zoomed in to show the humans were not just surviving, they were thriving. They were growing food that should not be able to grow in that soil. They were breathing air that should poison them. Their children were playing games in environments that should kill them instantly. Individual humans adapt to survive, Lisa explained. But human communities adapt to flourish. When enough humans live together on a world for several years, something amazing happens. The hologram showed children being born on the alien world. These children looked slightly different from their parents. They were taller, stronger, and seemed perfectly comfortable in the toxic environment. The children of colonists are not just adapted to survive on their world, Lisa said. They are evolved to be perfect for that world. Within 3 generations, human colonists do not just live on a planet, they become part of its ecosystem. The old Verdanian judge spoke in its ancient, creaky voice. You are describing species-level transformation. This should be impossible. Lisa's smile became almost proud. Your Honor, you are beginning to understand what humans really are. We are not just another species trying to spread across the galaxy. She gestured to all the judges around her. We are evolution itself, given consciousness and the ability to choose our own direction. The alien judges sat in stunned silence. Lisa Carter could see that her words had confused and frightened them. The energy being had stopped pulsing with colors and now glowed a steady, worried orange. The crystal judges were making no sounds at all, which meant they were thinking very hard. "You make claims that sound impossible," said the Zephyrian prosecutor. Its purple gas form had turned a darker color. "Perhaps you are lying to avoid punishment for using forbidden technology." Lisa nodded calmly. "I understand your doubt. The abilities I describe do sound impossible if you have never seen them. Would you like me to demonstrate?" The insect judge clicked its mandibles rapidly. "Demonstrate here." "In this courtroom?" "Yes," Lisa replied. "I can show you exactly how human adaptation works, but I will need your permission to change the environmental controls in this chamber." The judges looked at each other with whatever they used for eyes. The old Verdanian judge rustled its branches slowly. "This could be dangerous. Our life support systems are designed to keep all species safe." "I promise that I will not do anything that will harm any of you," Lisa said. "Your protective shields and filters will keep you completely safe. I am only asking to change the conditions around me." After several minutes of discussion in their various alien languages, the judges agreed. The Verdanian judge gave Lisa permission to access the chamber's environmental controls, but only in the area immediately around her. Lisa touched several buttons on her suit sleeve. The air around her began to change. A thin mist appeared, and the judge's sensors immediately started beeping with warnings. "I am now breathing a gas mixture that would be toxic to most galactic species," Lisa announced calmly. "The atmosphere around me is now similar to planet Zarian, the world with acid in the air that you showed in your evidence." Several judges activated their protective shields. The crystal beings surrounded themselves with energy barriers. The gas-based Zephyrian actually backed away from Lisa's area of the courtroom, but Lisa stood calmly in the toxic mist, breathing normally. She did not cough or show any signs of distress. She looked exactly the same as she had moments before. "My lungs are now producing a special coating that neutralizes the acid," she explained. "My blood chemistry has changed to process the toxins safely. This adaptation began the moment the gas touched my skin. The environmental system changed again." The temperature around Lisa dropped rapidly. Frost began forming on the floor near her feet. The air became so cold that it should have frozen her breath, but Lisa continued speaking normally. "Now I am experiencing conditions similar to Glacialis, the frozen world you mentioned," she said. "My metabolism has increased to generate more body heat. My blood is producing antifreeze proteins. My skin has developed an insulating layer that you cannot see but is very effective." The judges watched in amazement as Lisa stood comfortably in conditions that would kill most of them instantly, even with their technology. The environmental system changed a third time. The air around Lisa began glowing with radiation warnings. Several judges moved further away, even though their shields were protecting them. "This is now a high-radiation environment similar to worlds near unstable stars," Lisa announced. "My cells are activating rapid DNA repair mechanisms. My bone marrow is producing specialized blood cells that are resistant to radiation damage. My skin is creating a barrier that absorbs and redirects harmful energy." Through all of these environmental changes, Lisa never stopped talking. Her voice remained steady and clear. She showed no signs of pain, fear, or even discomfort. She looked as relaxed as someone standing in a pleasant garden. "These adaptations are happening in real time," she explained. "I did not prepare for this demonstration beforehand. My body is responding automatically to each environmental challenge as it occurs." The insect judge's many eyes were blinking in rapid patterns. This is beyond our understanding of biology. How is your cellular structure not collapsing from the stress of such rapid changes?" Lisa smiled. "Because human cells have been dealing with rapid changes for millions of years. Our ancestors survived ice ages, volcanic eruptions, droughts, floods, and every other disaster Earth could create. Each crisis made us stronger and more adaptable." She gestured to her body. "What you see as impossible stress, my cells see as a familiar challenge. They know exactly what to do because they have done it countless times before." The environmental system cycled through even more extreme conditions. The gravity around Lisa increased until it should have crushed her bones, but she stood straight and steady. The air pressure dropped until it matched the vacuum of space, but she continued breathing normally. "High gravity activates bone density genes inherited from mountain dwellers," she explained calmly. "Low pressure triggers lung expansion genes from high-altitude populations. My body treats each new challenge as simply another problem to solve." The Zephyrian prosecutor's gas form was now spinning rapidly with confusion. "Even if your body can adapt this quickly, how does this explain your rapid colonization?" Personal survival is not the same as building civilizations. Lisa nodded. You are absolutely right. What I have shown you so far is basic human adaptation. Things any human can do with minimal training. But our colonies require something much more advanced. She touched her sleeve controls and the environmental systems returned to normal. The toxic gases cleared, the temperature rose to comfortable levels, and the radiation warning stopped beeping. What you have seen is conscious adaptation, Lisa explained. I chose to activate these genes because I knew what environmental challenges were coming. But on our colony world, something much more interesting happens. A new hologram appeared showing a human family on an alien world. The parents looked like normal Earth humans, but their children looked different, taller, with unusual eye colors and skin that seemed to shimmer slightly. When human families live on a world for several years, their children are born already adapted to that environment, Lisa said. Not just adapted to survive, but evolved to thrive. The hologram showed the children playing outside in conditions that should be deadly. They were breathing toxic air like it was normal. They were comfortable in extreme temperatures. They were stronger and faster than their parents. These children do not need to activate adaptation genes, Lisa continued. They were born with the right genes already active. Within 3 generations, human colonists are not just living on their world. They have become a new type of human that belongs to that world. The crystal judge made a sound like wind chimes in a storm. You are describing directed evolution. Evolution that is guided by intelligence rather than random chance. Exactly, Lisa confirmed. Humans do not just adapt randomly to new environments. We evolve purposefully, choosing the traits we need to not just survive but to flourish. The old Verdanian judge spoke with its ancient voice. This explains your rapid colonization. You are not terraforming worlds to match human needs. You are creating new types of humans to match each world. Lisa's smile grew wider. Now you are beginning to understand what humanity really is. But this is still only part of the truth. She looked around at all 12 judges. You have seen how individual humans adapt and how human families evolve. But you have not yet seen the full scale of what we can become. Lisa Carter touched her sleeve, and the holographic displays around the courtroom changed completely. Instead of showing single planets or small human settlements, the new images showed entire star systems filled with human colonies. But these colonies looked nothing like what the judges expected. What you have seen so far represents basic human adaptation, Lisa said. Individual humans changing to survive on new worlds and families evolving over a few generations. But our true colonies, the ones that have existed for decades, represent something much more extraordinary. The first hologram showed an underwater world completely covered by oceans. Instead of floating cities or underwater domes, the images showed humans swimming freely in the deep waters. But these humans looked very different from Earth humans. Their skin had a blue-green tint, and they seemed to have small gill-like openings along their necks. On Aquatica 7, 3rd-generation human colonists have developed the ability to breathe underwater for hours without any technology, Lisa explained. Their blood carries 3 times more oxygen than normal humans. Their eyes have adapted to see clearly in the deep ocean. Their skin can handle the enormous pressure of the deepest seas. The crystal judge made sharp chiming sounds. Those beings, they barely look human anymore. But they are, Lisa insisted. They think like humans, they feel like humans. They create art and music and literature just like humans from Earth. They are simply humans who have become perfectly suited to their world. Hologram changed to show a world of floating islands in a thick atmosphere. Humans there had developed wider, stronger rib cages and seemed to move through the thick air like they were swimming. On Nimbus Beta, humans have adapted to an atmosphere so dense that normal humans would be crushed by the pressure, Lisa continued. Their bones have become hollow like bird bones, but much stronger. Their lungs process the thick air so efficiently that they can actually fly short distances by swimming through the atmosphere. Another image appeared, showing a world covered in crystal formations. The humans living there had skin that looked almost metallic, and they seemed to be comfortable walking on surfaces that glowed with heat. The humans of Crystal Prime have evolved to process raw minerals through their skin, Lisa explained. They can eat rocks and crystals and turn them into energy. Their skin has become so hard that it can withstand temperatures that would melt most metals. The judges were making various sounds of amazement and horror. The energy being was pulsing through colors rapidly, while the insect judges clicked their mandibles in distress. These are not humans anymore. protested the Zephyrian prosecutor. These are entirely different species. Lisa shook her head. No, they are all still human. Watch this. The hologram showed something remarkable. Humans from the underwater world were meeting humans from the crystal world. Despite looking completely different, they were talking, laughing, and embracing like old friends. Every human colony stays in contact with Earth and with each other, Lisa explained. The underwater humans and the crystal humans can still understand each other perfectly. They share the same basic human emotions, the same curiosity about the universe, the same desire to explore and learn. She gestured to herself. And I can communicate perfectly with all of them, just as I am communicating with you now. We may look different, but we are all part of the same human family. The hologram changed again, showing dozens of different worlds with dozens of different types of humans. On one world, humans had become tall and thin with large eyes adapted for low light. On another, they were short and muscular with thick skin that could handle extreme radiation. Some had developed enhanced senses, others had grown stronger bones and muscles, and some had even developed new organs that did not exist in Earth humans. Each world presents different challenges, Lisa said, so each human colony develops different solutions. But they are all conscious solutions, guided by human intelligence and human choice. The old Verdanian judge rustled its branches slowly. This is beyond anything we have seen in galactic history. You are describing controlled species development on a massive scale. Yes, Lisa agreed. But this is still not the full truth. What I have shown you so far are the colonies that your sensors can detect and understand, but humanity has spread much further than you know. The hologram changed to show a map of the galaxy. Red dots marked the 17 star systems that the Galactic Council knew about, but as Lisa touched her controls, hundreds more dots appeared in blue. The 17 systems you charged us with are only the ones you can detect, Lisa revealed. There are over 300 human colonies that your sensors cannot find. The chamber erupted in sounds of alarm. The crystal judges were chiming like broken bells, the insect judges were clicking rapidly, and the energy being was pulsing bright red with shock. 300 systems? Gasped the Zephyrian prosecutor. That is impossible. Our detection networks cover the entire galaxy. Lisa smiled calmly. Your networks can only detect what they recognize as artificial settlements. But many of our colonies have become so integrated with their environments that your sensors register them as natural phenomena. The hologram zoomed in on one of the blue dots. On Plasma Prime, a world that orbits inside the outer layer of a star, humans have evolved into energy-based life forms. They exist as patterns of controlled plasma that live within the star itself. Your sensors detect them as natural solar activity. Another blue dot expanded to show a region of empty space between stars. In the void sectors, humans have adapted to survive in the vacuum of space without any technology at all. They have developed the ability to enter a state similar to hibernation, traveling between stars over periods of decades. Your sensors cannot detect them because they register as space debris. More images appeared showing humans who had adapted to live in conditions that the galaxy thought were completely uninhabitable. Some lived inside asteroids, having evolved to eat rock and metal. Others existed as cloud-like beings in the atmospheres of gas giant planets. Each of these colonies represents a new experiment in what humans can become, Lisa explained. We do not just adapt to survive on worlds. We discover entirely new ways to exist in the universe. The insect judge was blinking all of its eyes in different patterns. Why do you do this? Why change yourself so drastically when you could simply use technology to make worlds suitable for your original form? Lisa looked directly at the insect judge. Because technology breaks down, machines fail, environmental suits run out of power, but evolution lasts forever. She gestured to all the images around them. Every human colony you see represents a permanent solution to the challenges of that environment. These humans do not depend on machines or artificial systems. They have become living solutions to the problems of existence itself. The Verdanian judge spoke in its ancient voice. You are describing something that has never existed in the galaxy before. A species that consciously directs its own evolution. Not just directs it, Lisa corrected. We accelerate it. We make evolution work at the speed of thought rather than the speed of geological time. She paused and looked around at all the judges. And now that you understand what humanity really is, you can understand why your charges against us are meaningless. The prosecutor's gas form turned dark purple with anger. Meaningless? You have violated every principle of natural development. Lisa's smile grew wider, but now it contained something that made several judges activate their defensive systems. That is exactly my point, she said quietly. You are trying to judge us by the standards of species that are bound by natural limitations. But humanity is not bound by those limitations anymore. The courtroom fell completely silent. The alien judges stared at Lisa Carter with whatever they used for eyes, and she could feel their fear growing like a cold wind. The energy being had stopped pulsing colors entirely, and now glowed a steady, worried white. The crystal judges had gone completely quiet, not even making their usual soft chiming sounds. Lisa touched her sleeve one final time. The holographic display changed to show the true scope of human expansion across the galaxy. The map that had shown 300 human colonies suddenly expanded to show thousands more dots, appearing in every corner of known space. The 300 colonies I showed, you are only the ones that still maintain regular contact with Earth, Lisa said quietly. The complete number of human settlements is much larger. The dots kept appearing on the galactic map. Soon there were so many that entire regions of space looked more blue than black. The judges watched in growing horror as Lisa revealed the true extent of human expansion. Over the past 50 years, humanity has not just spread to a few dozen worlds, Lisa continued. We have become a galactic phenomenon. There is no star system, no type of world, no environmental challenge that humans have not found a way to inhabit. She pointed to different regions of the map. Humans exist in the cores of stars, in the ice of comets, in the gas clouds between galaxies, and in dimensions that your science has not yet discovered. We have become every possible type of life that this universe allows. The Zephyrian prosecutor's gas form was spinning so rapidly that it looked like a purple tornado. This is an invasion. You have secretly conquered the galaxy. Lisa shook her head calmly. No, we have not conquered anything. We have become part of everything. There is a difference. She gestured to the thousands of dots on the map. Every human colony you see exists in harmony with its environment. We do not destroy worlds to suit our needs. We become whatever those worlds need us to be. The hologram zoomed in to show specific examples. On worlds where the ecosystem needed predators, humans had evolved to fill that role. On worlds that needed pollinators, humans had developed the ability to help plants reproduce. On worlds with delicate energy balances, humans had become living batteries that stored and released power as needed. We do not take from these worlds, Lisa explained. We give to them. Each human colony makes its world more stable, more diverse, more alive than it was before we arrived. The insect judge clicked its mandibles frantically. But your expansion has been hidden from us. You have deceived the Galactic Council. Lisa's expression became more serious. We have hidden nothing. Your sensors simply cannot recognize what we have become. When humans evolve to become part of a world's ecosystem, we no longer register as an artificial presence. She pointed to one of the blue dots. The humans of Stormworld have become living lightning that dances in the planet's eternal hurricanes. Your sensors detect them as weather patterns, the humans of gravity. Well 7 exist as conscious gravitational fields that help hold their solar system together. Your instruments read them as natural gravitational anomalies. More examples appeared on the display. Humans who had become living forests on jungle worlds, humans who existed as magnetic fields around metal-rich planets, and humans who had evolved into microscopic organisms that lived in the blood of larger creatures, helping them stay healthy. In each case, we have become something that benefits our adopted world, Lisa said. We are not invaders or conquerors. We are partners in the universe's great experiment with life. The old Verdanian judge spoke with its ancient voice, but now it sounded afraid. What are you saying about humanity? What have you become? Lisa looked directly at the ancient judge. We have become what we were always meant to be. We are evolution itself, given consciousness and the power to choose its own direction. She gestured to herself. I am not just Ambassador Lisa Carter from Earth. I carry within my genetic code the potential to become any type of life that the universe requires. I am part Martian from our terraforming projects, part Europan from our ice moon colonies, and part Centauran from our first interstellar settlements. The hologram showed Lisa's own genetic structure, with different colored sections highlighting traits from dozens of different worlds. But I am also part energy being from our plasma colonies, part crystalline entity from our mineral worlds, and part quantum consciousness from our experiments in dimensional travel, she continued. I am not just a single person. I am a walking library of every form of life that humanity has ever achieved. The crystal judges started making sounds like breaking glass, which meant they were terrified. The energy being pulsed through colors so rapidly that it looked like it was having a panic attack. You are saying that every human is a potential? The Zephyrian prosecutor could not finish its sentence. Every human is a potential everything, Lisa confirmed. We carry within us the genetic memory and conscious control to become whatever form of life is needed in any situation. We are not limited to one shape, one environment, or one way of existing. She smiled, but now her smile contained something vast and ancient. You tried to judge humanity by the standards you use for normal species. But we stopped being a normal species millions of years ago. We became something much more. The courtroom was filled with the sounds of alien panic. The judges were communicating rapidly in their various languages, trying to understand what Lisa had revealed. What do you want from us? Asked the Verdanian judge, its voice shaking like leaves in a storm. Lisa's expression softened. We want exactly what we have always wanted. To explore, to learn, to grow, and to help other life forms do the same. We do not seek to replace other species or control them. She gestured to all 12 judges. We seek to understand them, to learn from them, and if they are willing, to share our gifts with them. The energy being pulsed a confused yellow. Share your gifts? The ability to consciously direct evolution, Lisa explained. The power to adapt to any environment. The freedom to become whatever form of life serves the universe best. These gifts do not have to belong only to humanity. She looked around at all the judges. Your species have reached evolutionary dead ends. You are stable, but you cannot grow anymore. You are adapted to your worlds, but you cannot explore new ones. Humanity offers you the chance to evolve again. The insect judge's eyes were blinking in rapid patterns. You are offering to change us. We are offering to teach you to change yourselves, Lisa corrected. To give you the same conscious control over evolution that humans possess. To free you from the limitations of your current forms. The prosecutor's gas form turned bright red with anger. This is the ultimate deception. You offer to help us, but you really want to make us like you. Lisa shook her head. We want to give you the ability to become whatever you choose to be. If you choose to remain exactly as you are, that is your decision. But if you want to explore new worlds, to experience new forms of existence, to push the boundaries of what life can achieve, we can show you how. The old Verdanian judge was quiet for a long time. When it finally spoke, its voice was barely a whisper. And if we refuse your offer? Lisa's smile returned, but now it was gentle and sad. Then you will remain as you are, while the universe continues to evolve around you. Eventually you will become extinct, not because you are weak, but because you stopped growing. She gestured to the holographic map still showing thousands of human colonies. The universe is vast and full of wonders you cannot imagine. Every world, every star, every dimension offers new possibilities for existence. Humanity has learned to embrace all of these possibilities. She looked at each judge in turn. The choice is yours. You can try to stop us, but you now understand that we have become something beyond your power to control. Or you can join us in exploring the infinite potential of conscious evolution. The courtroom was completely silent except for the soft humming of the translation machines. The judges sat frozen, unable to process the magnitude of what they had learned. Finally, Lisa spoke again. You charged humanity with violating natural law, but you were wrong. We have not violated natural law. We have become natural law. We are evolution itself, exploring every possible path that life can take. She smiled one last time. And now you understand why the court was shocked by my fall. I did not fall from grace or dignity. I fell into a truth so profound that it changes what it means to be alive in this universe. The crystal gavel that had announced humanity's guilt began to sing again, but now its song was different. It was not the sound of judgment, but the sound of recognition. The charges against humanity were quietly deleted from the galactic record. In the end, there was no verdict because there was nothing left to judge. How do you put the force of evolution itself on trial? How do you punish the universe's own drive to grow and change and become more than it was before? The judges left the courtroom in silence, each carrying the knowledge that they had encountered something beyond their understanding. And Lisa Carter stood alone in the great chamber, smiling as she contemplated the infinite possibilities that stretched out before all conscious life in the galaxy. The secret had been revealed, the choice had been offered, and the universe would never be the same.